The faith is disturbing.
Believe it. Okay.
What's going on, geeks? You're listening to episode 335 of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. My name is Cody Armour. I'm here with Lj.Lowery.
Yo!
And Shelley Nollan.
Hello.
This week, we're geeking out about E3, James Gunn's DCU, and I'm so excited about this, the Level Up event, which you've never heard of, because we made it up.
Until now.
Yeah.
We just made it up.
It's going to be amazing. Basically, Level Up event, it'll be March 3rd. I can't remember the start time, but there'll be details everywhere, I promise you. And it is going to be a virtual conference that we're doing. The virtual conference, the idea of it is to level up your faith in some way, whether you are a longtime believer or not a believer at all. You just kind of you're just interested in what this all looks like. We're going to have guests. We've got, I don't want to name the guests yet. We have guests, stay tuned, because we're just going to be announcing this when I publish.
What a tease!
Yeah. Some cool guests. Some stuff that I'm really excited about.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be great. There will be Twitch streaming between the guest speakers, and it'll all be live on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Geeks Under Grace. Yeah, so we'll be playing some games. We have some guest streamers as well. So,
Sweet.
A good time.
I know I haven't streamed on our channel for a while either, but I will definitely be back as well.
Yeah. I'm really excited. Like I said, there'll be more details coming out in the next few weeks. If you're following us on social media, I'm probably going to annoy you with all of the details all the time. So be ready for it. Level Up events. From there, let's just get into the games we've been playing.
Cool. Alright, so I guess that means me first.
Yes.
Alright, let's see. So I've played a few things. I guess I'll talk about the first one that I didn't plan on. I didn't really care for Forspoken that much. But it was it was a purchase I made in spite of all the mixed reviews and everything. I'm like, you know what? Like, because I had so much fun with games last year that got like 6s and 5s and stuff, you know, like, so I'm like, you know what? Okay, let me see what this is all about, because I got to know if this is really like if it's really an issue or not. And so I have been playing a little bit of Forspoken. I know people in our video game chat have already beat it. We got a review copy. I know somebody is working on the review. It'll be published very soon, which is awesome. It's cool we got a copy of it. But there are some things that are odd and obtuse about it. But I like it so far. It's not like, it's definitely not like, you know, I feel like the scores it's been getting are like spot on. It's in between a 6 and a 7 somewhere, I think. But it's not like it's just been getting railed on social media, just kind of like the games that I enjoyed last year. But I'm like, okay, like there's a lot of character progression involved, not in just like as the player, but story progression too. Like Frey, the main character, she starts off very cringy, but you get to see her grow, and the abilities and the things you can do are very limited and don't feel very fun. But the more you play through it, the more you unlock, and you really start to turn into this hero, this with magical abilities that like she was advertised as. And so it's like, I think it's one of those games that it does take a few hours to really get a feel for and to kind of get comfortable with. And I think that's why it's just one of those games that takes a minute to get into. Yeah. I've liked it so far though. Yep. And then the other thing that one of the other things that I've been playing is Dead Space. This is one that I did want to play for sure, the Dead Space remake. And it is really good. Like, it was one of those things, kind of like Last of Us Part 1. I'm like, I don't really need a remake of this. I love this trilogy as it is. But once I hopped into it, I'm like, okay, I literally know everything I'm about to play in this game. But there's just graphically and just these changes that really do, I think, mean a lot. That make me go, oh, like, it gives me this kind of surreal, like, not like Uncanny Valley kind of a thing, but just like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's kind of the game that I had imagined in my head when I first played Dead Space, but it's just like, oh, like it's just more fully realized, I guess. But it's super exciting. It's really good. I think it's a good time for people to check out that series, especially with the remake. I don't know if they're doing the sequels or not, or what they got planned for that, but the Dead Space remake is really solid. And I guess, yeah, they're good. The third one is co-op. I know that game got some flack too back in the day, but it's one of the best co-op experiences that my brother and I have ever had. Like, it's other characters are hallucinating things that the main character is no longer hallucinating at that point because he's already been through the journey. And it's just crazy because two players can see two different things on screen. And that was back in the days on like 360 and PS3. So this remake is pretty neat though. And I guess I'll save it. I guess I can probably talk more about it in the news, but Xbox did shadow drop a game called Hi-Fi Rush that I did get to play, and it's so stinking good. I love it. I just haven't had the time to really like get back into it. But I've already played like 3 or 4 levels, and yeah, it's great. So I'll talk more about that when we get to the news. But what have you guys been playing?
Go for it, Shelley.
So I finally beat Radiant Dawn, and I'm very happy about
Nice.
it. I feel like I can finally move on to other games. I'm sure other people have similar games or things that they're like, yeah, like this is a great game, but I want to be done so I can run. So, and for me, and I think I feel that way especially because I went straight from Path of Radiance to Radiant Dawn. I just played them both in succession. So, and they're great games. I really like them a lot. But man, like, they just took a lot of my time. And I do still think, Radiant Dawn is the best Fire Emblem story. I think Three Houses is really good. The fact that Three Houses has 4 stories that all kind of like are different, I think is incredibly impressive. But I think if you were to just take a single story for a Fire Emblem game, I think Radiant Dawn has it. But it's also in context with Path of Radiance before it. So it's really good. Phase 4 was a slog, unfortunately, all the way until the end.
Some would say that about Marvel too.
Yeah, it was kind of a slog, and I think part of it was...
I had to make the joke.
Yeah, I was starting to get a little burnt out, but also there were just so many units on the field, like on your team and on the enemy's team, and there was just a point in Phase 4 where you don't literally have to use every single one of your units, but you end up having to use some pretty bad units. And
I wonder if they just tried to be like, hey, let's make these battles even more massive,
basically, which is, I mean, honestly, like, as the stakes get higher, the battles get bigger. That's like a cool thing, and I think from a story perspective, it made sense. And it was just it took so long to get through every battle because you're moving so many units, and 2, waiting for so many units to move on the enemy side. Like, I basically had to like look at my phone, like, or do something else during that time, the enemy phase, because we couldn't just like stop it. So there's that, but then at the very end of Phase 4, like, the end game was very fun. It was very fun because you basically just got to choose like 10 of your top units, which was fantastic because then I'm like, cool, I'm going to choose all my really super duper awesome broken units who I love to use. And then it's really fun. And then,
that's pretty neat.
You even... I won't share story spoilers, but I will share that basically during during these final fights, your weapons, you basically choose a weapon in per character that you have to be blessed, to be like super.
Oh, nice.
And what it does is not only does it make it stronger, it makes that weapon have no durability. Like, it can't break. Whereas any other weapon in that game, except for like Ragnar, who like has can break normally. So I had a lot of fun giving like so Soren is kind of the main mage kind of guy you use in the game. He's a really good mage, and he can get this ability called Blizzard, this weapon that basically can snipe enemies from all the way across the map. And so
that's cool.
Had that weapon blessed, and I could just snipe bosses and things from across the map in the like end game, and like usually it's like a really risky weapon option because it only has 5 uses. But again, it's blessed. I could use it infinite times.
Oh, nice.
So funny where I just like could be like, haha, you're all the way across the map, but I could just kill you anyway. So I legit had a very fun time at the very end there because 1, there was a lot of story. 2, I was just really wanting to get it done, and 3, like I personally am the type of person where challenge is good. Obviously, I think actually challenge is good in a game, but I think one of my favorite parts of games, like especially RPGs, is being so broken by the end of the game because of all the experience you have, you've gone on, all the weapons you have, things like that, just being so broken that like you just destroy everything. Like that's one of my favorite parts of RPGs, and it's fine if people don't like that, but that's just personally what I like. So
I mean, at that point you've worked for it, so like
exactly.
Like let's roll. Yeah,
if you had that from the beginning, that's no longer fun, but like once
right.
you get to the end, then you're just like, again, like you worked for it, and it makes sense from a story standpoint, you've done all this stuff, so I'm just really happy I got to finally beat that game. And so I'm trying to figure out what to do next. I have a whole backlog to get through, so I should just do that. I think I chose to wait on Persona 3. I do really want to play Persona 3, and I will eventually, but I've been convinced that the port is really bad. Apparently, a lot of veteran fans who have played the original games are saying it's a really bad port, and they're saying, hey, just wait until patches come out. Like, they botched the audio, for example, and I, like, watched a video of it. It's genuinely quite bad. And I'm like, I mean, I would be able to get through it, but, like, if everyone else is saying, like, hey, they can afford to give you a better experience, and they should, then, like, yeah, sure, I'll wait. That's fine. I
still want to know why they chose the portable version of all of them,
yeah,
you know?
That's another huge question, right, too. And for me, I'm like, well, I'd be playing on my Steam Deck anyway, so if anything...
Yeah, it makes sense.
More of a experience that would line up with, you know, the original hardware, just from a hardware standpoint. And so that's another reason why I'm like, oh, I'm playing on Steam Deck, that'll be really cool. But anyway, yeah, so I'm just like, you know what, that's fine, like, I can wait, okay, I'll wait. And at this point, my husband's still playing Engage, so I haven't really played any of their games right now, but I want to talk about Engage a little bit, Fire Emblem Engage, just because it keeps getting better. Like, it just keeps, like, and I think, I was talking with Derek about it in our little backlog, you know, golf chat, about how at the beginning it's kind of a slow start, but then as it keeps going and going, the character designs get better, characterization gets better, the world building, I think, even gets a little bit better, and story, I don't know, the story's kind of fine still, but, like, the gameplay keeps getting better. As you get more and more emblem rings, they each give you new cool abilities that are, like, broken, which, again, you heard me talk about it, I love being just completely broken in these games. So, and it's not necessarily, like, to an unfair way, like, the game's kind of hard in some ways, but just the fact that all the time and effort that they put into this game is so evident, for the emblems, like, how much you can interact with the emblems. So I thought you really weren't going to be able to interact with them much as, like, characters, but they have unique dialogue with, like, all of your party members, and there's actually a way where you can do these trials against them. They'll take you to a map from their game, or something.
Oh, that's cool.
Very, very similar to one of their games, and you play on the map. So I got to watch Daniel play, basically fight against Lucina at Arena Ferox from Fire Emblem Awakening, which, you know,
that's cool.
That's probably my most nostalgic Fire Emblem game. This is the game I started with for Fire Emblem. So seeing Arena Ferox with a cool new remix of the tune and fighting Lucina, like, I just thought, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And so he's also done one for Lynn, which I've also played the game she's from, so that was really cool to see too.
That was my first Fire Emblem game.
Exactly. So I think that's so cool. Like, they really, really went above and beyond to put love into this game in the sense of showcasing the emblems, not only their power and their designs and weapons, but also in their interactions with characters, and also just giving them maps that you can just go to, and it's from those original games. Which, again, like, it's going to be a kind of a bummer for all these new fans who didn't get to play any of those games. Like, that is the huge bummer, is that it's you know, almost impossible to access those games to be able to play them, at least legally. I should specify.
Right.
It's really great if you have played these games. So that's cool. So I'm excited to play that eventually, but he's not done yet, so I need to kind of like wait it out. But anyway, that's what I've been playing most far.
Nice.
I probably done talking about Vampire Survivors. I've rolled credit.
Nice.
I have one more. I have one more unlock. I thought that I read it wrong because the last unlock is complete the collection, and I thought that the unlock was complete all the unlocks. I guess in my mind. I think I have a single item in the collection. I don't know what it is, but I will by the end of the week. I'll probably have that.
Nice.
But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. That game. There was so much more to that game than it had any right to have.
I almost streamed that game the other day, but I feel like it'd be so hard to keep up with and like keep up with chat at the same time. Like,
oh yeah,
it just seems like it would just be like too much. So I was like, nope, let me not do that. But it's so good.
So many half hours of my life.
Nice, and that's where I was thinking too, because I'm like, if I stream like a couple hours, right, that automatic hopefully kills a few good half hours. You know, like hopefully I can make good progress. But then I'm like, no, I just feel like that'd be a multitasking job that like just sounds difficult.
Yeah. So I plan on Game Pass and I don't have the DLC. It looks like, which is kind of a bummer because I've been playing it on my phone through the cloud.
Oh yeah.
And so if I purchased the game, I still wouldn't have like the DLC through the cloud.
Oh, that is weird. Would you not?
I don't understand how all that works. Maybe I'm incorrect.
I think you should. I mean, well, I guess I can't say for sure, but
yeah, DLC with the cloud is a weird thing. I also Xbox Cloud for the first time. They told me that I had a 10-minute wait. I waited about a minute because so many people were playing at the same time on the cloud, so the servers were backed up.
That's weird.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing that could happen.
Yeah,
but no, that game is. I highly recommend it. It's so fun. It's so silly, and yeah, I don't think I've enjoyed such a simplistic game in so long. It was amazing. Definitely recommend.
Nice.
Yeah, that's all I've been playing though. I've literally just been playing that every night before bed.
That's fine. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's better than me coming in here with like 3 games every week.
Yeah. If I get into a game, it's all I do for a while. Plus,
I love
we
that.
up the level up event. I've been working crazy on that. I'm going to put a lot into it. So
that's
not
awesome.
A ton of time to play video games. But yeah, we can get into the gaming news, LJ.
Cool. All right, our first piece of news is kind of like pretty fresh from today, but IGN had an exclusive with a source, and the headline reads, Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft don't want anything to do with E3. And I'm like, okay, we've already kind of known that, but what is this article about? And it just kind of talks about, this inside source says they're not really sure nobody's still really sure what this event is going to be anymore, because it is under, it is under, yeah.
Are
so it's
of podcasting tell me that this is going to be canceled. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. So it is, the ESA still is in charge of it, but it's being ran by the company. I forget the name again. I should have kept up the page, but the company that basically helps do all the PAX events and some other things.
Marketing for it, right?
Yes, all the marketing, the event scheduling, and everything like that. They're basically in charge of setting up the event. Basically like what you're doing for the level up event, basically in a weird way. And so basically they're saying, I guess this company reached out to developers and publishers and all that as of December. That's barely when you start reaching out to people for an event that is 6 months away. Not even 6 months now, because it's going to be February. So it's more of, the article is just talking about the state of everything. I think Xbox did confirm they're going to do something probably at their theater in June. I think they did say, And then it's like, oh, well, Sony hasn't been a part of it, and then obviously Nintendo still does their own thing. So I really didn't feel like I learned much based on the headline, but when reading that article, it just kind of talks about the state.
Also, that didn't know that Nintendo and PlayStation,
right?
Xbox were out.
Yeah, I mean, like they have been out for the last couple of years, but I guess it's also like
We haven't had.
I know we haven't. Yeah, no, we haven't had one necessarily. But I think EA is probably going to do their own thing again. Like they're, it's like these, and it sounds like they just don't want. I mean, the headline is right, where it's like they probably don't want anything to do with this new type of E3 because they've been doing it by themselves the last couple of years. So it's like, okay, well, we really don't need you.
Virtual has been the logical step, especially with COVID. It kind of prepared everybody. Everyone realized that they could do it.
Yeah.
But not only that, like it's just kind of the rhythm and trend that social media has kind of had.
Yeah.
People stay at home. There's less people going to theaters. There's less people going to big events. If you could, I mean, for us, E3 has always been streamed, and so we've watched it through streams anyways. If that's where the majority of people are, then why spend, thousands of dollars, millions of dollars creating an event? Spend less just online and getting the same effect and getting the same, because the press can still make press releases and print out, publish stuff on the event without you having to be there. It's a bummer in a lot of ways, because when you would have like a team of journalists, I think it was just like the job situation. Journalists would go in and they would try to like cover everything, but now a journalist, you can have like 3 or 4 journalists watch the event, write up everything, and you've got the work done.
Gosh, I mean, I just think of the times we've been to a PAX and think it's probably 10 times that at E3.
Right.
Just like, oh, you're not going to be able to cover everything. We're much smaller, obviously.
Smaller in our manpower.
But it's just like, dang, like.
I think it really probably hurts the workforce in a lot of ways. People that work the event. That's not just those people, but the people that are putting it on. You've got the security. You've got the planners. There's a lot of jobs that are being kind of lost in that. But going virtual, I think, saves the company's monies, and so as far as go, unfortunately, it's the obvious choice.
Yep, it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I mean, we still don't
easier to organize.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's just interesting. Like it definitely feels like if we do have, like, I mean, I guess it's not really. I mean, like you said, it could be canceled, but it's definitely not probably going to be what E3 was in the past. It sounds like nobody's very sure yet, and for it to be
indie event, no one's gonna want to go.
Well, yeah, I mean, even the third party companies are just like, oh no, we got this. So this just doesn't. This sounds like it's just not going to be like what it used to be. I mean, even then, E3 was already changing as it is. So who knows? It's still up in the air, I think, is what this article is saying. The next piece of news is pretty. I think it's kind of neat. Xbox had a showcase this past week.
Speaking of
Xbox, they had some cool things to talk about. They did talk about the new Minecraft game that's coming out, Minecraft Legends. That's going to have some neat looking PvP stuff. That's like part RTS, part like MOBA kind of a thing. They did show some more Forza stuff. Some more Elder Scrolls stuff. Redfall got a release date for June. And Redfall sounds cool because that sounds more like a Borderlands style, like, I think everybody thought it was going to be like a Left 4 Dead thing where you like had to team up, but it sounds like it's going to be a more wide linear kind of open. It's from Arcane, makers of like Deathloop and Dishonored and stuff. But it sounds like it's a game you're going to be able to play by yourself, but also have friends jump in at the same time too, like whenever they want. So it sounds like a vampire hunting, like Borderlands style, like kind of like shooter RPG, like than like a Left 4 Dead. So I mean, that sounds really fun because like now I can just go kill some vampires by myself, and if I want to. I don't need 4 people. I don't need 3 other people to play with necessarily. But But the thing that caught everybody's surprise was they shadow dropped a game to Game Pass called Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah, I saw that in my library.
Yeah. It's so good. It's basically a rhythm action game. The best, but it's different. I mean, there was that game that came out last year called Metal Hellsinger, where it's like, oh, you can move around and shoot to like this rhythm, right? But Hi-Fi Rush is like an action game, almost like a Devil May Cry kind of a thing. But it's like a combo action third person game where you're this character who he's going for this augment on his arm and to this like factory, this robot factory of this large mega corporation. And something happens where his basically MP3 player, his iPod, gets fused to his chest. And the gameplay is you having to do combos to the beat. As the beat's going. And the whole world is moving like to the beat. You can have the setting on to where you see the beat happening and it counts, like it shows you, but it's one of those things that's like you don't necessarily have to be on rhythm all the time, but if you are, it grants like damage bonuses and other bonuses to these combos that you can do. But it really feels like a mix of like Beautiful Joe back in the day on GameCube, like just that style and aesthetic, because it is made from Tango Gameworks and some of the makers of like Evil Within and Ghostwire, but some people on staff there have history working on like Beautiful Joe and stuff like that. But it also burns like partially like a Ratchet and Clank kind of thing. It just has that. It has that love for presentation and aesthetic. Like it feels like I'm playing an animated movie or something. Like, and it's like got these really good, well done, cel shaded graphics that like. Part of me at first felt like, oh, like it's got this like indie feeling, but it's like the more I play it, I'm like, nope, I'm forgetting this is a Bethesda company like that made this. It's just a game that's made with love, and it just feels like, and it's a lot of fun. Voice acting's great. Yes, I guess a comparison is like, I guess it's got like almost like a Jet Grind Radio, like Jet Set Radio style kind of too, but. And it just feels so satisfying when you do execute those combos on beat, and it's just like, yeah, it feels really good when you get in a rhythm. It's fun though, like you really can't go wrong like with it, especially like this is not on PlayStation. This is a Bethesda game, so it's like if you got an Xbox, like go play it, or it's on PC. If you got a PC, you got Game Pass, go play it. Super fun. Like, and it feels weird to say that about an Xbox game that isn't Gears, Forza, or whatever. It's like, nope, this is this game they just randomly dropped. Said, here you go. You can still buy it. You can still buy it on. I don't know if it's on Steam or not, because I know Microsoft releases games on Steam too. Let me see. I'm gonna go look right real quick. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't be on Steam. Let me see. Hi-Fi. Oh, it's on Steam for $29.
That's what I wanted to hear,
Yep.
baby.
Yep.
Because people
Yep,
say
it's on.
Game Pass. I'm like, I don't have Game Pass. I don't have Xbox. I don't do Game Pass.
Yeah, and so it reminded me of so you can it reminds me of when Ninja Theory came out with that game. It was a multiplayer game called like Bleeding Edge. It was that like action multiplayer game. So in that, like, it's neat that these companies are still getting to do like little fun like side projects, because that's what this feels like. Like Tango Gameworks just got through putting out Ghostwire Tokyo last year, so it's like, oh, okay, they've also been working on this thing. So I feel like it's kind of neat. It feels like hopefully Xbox lets more companies do this. Like, here, make this big thing for us, but also like have your little side project we can just drop on Game Pass too, or for $30. Like, this is, I would almost pay a full price for this game having played it, and for $30, I'm like, dang, all right.
Honestly, I feel like that's what. I feel like if there's a way for game devs and developers to focus on that, I feel like that's almost for the best, because we were just talking about Forspoken.
Yes,
like,
and it came out the same week.
And I just feel like that game probably isn't even bad. The reason people say it's bad is because there was so much hype and so much build up for it.
Yes, that game was way built up on hype.
And then it just disappointed disappoints people because it's not
Yep.
like it's not even necessarily a bad game. I'm sure if it just dropped, people would be like, "Oh, this is like kind of cool and fun."
Mhm.
You know, it's just like the problem is when you release these trailers and make it like the most hyped thing ever, and then all of a sudden it's just like doesn't reach expectations. Like that's just happened so many times that.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, you need to generate some sort of attention to your game for the most part, but I think side projects where they can afford to just drop a game and like focus really hard on it and like not have expectations. I feel like those are the games that do the best, or at least they because you don't have like all these you don't set it up for failure. You set it up for success. So it's like I know obviously they can't like do that for like all games, especially AAA games. Like that's just not a thing.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm tired of we're gonna make this huge game, it's gonna be amazing, and like it's just constantly disappointing people. It's like, well, work on your game if you can, if you have that affordability.
Yeah.
Not every studio does, but I feel like then it works out because then people are pleasantly surprised rather than disappointed most of the time.
Hmm.
So.
Yeah. It's wild. I'm like, hey, like this. It's wild that an Xbox game is like gets kind of the limelight this past week when Forspoken, like you said, was so built up and just kind of disappointed. It disappointed. It's not that it's a bad game. It disappointed for a lot of people.
And a disappointed game is a bad game to a lot of people. Not that it should be.
Yeah.
But to a lot of people.
Yep. Yeah. So. That's it for gaming news this week.
All right, we will get into movies then. You guys both saw some movies. Go ahead, Shelley. Let's start with you.
Hey, nice.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we watched Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and it was so freaking good, guys.
I've heard it is really good.
Yeah,
I almost want to just get the movie myself, like just because I heard it's so good.
We just rented it
instead
on
of
Amazon, and it was like
it's the newest one, right?
Yes.
It is the newest one. You don't have to have watched. My husband actually watched the original Puss in Boots a long time ago, and what's funny is that I watched that one a while ago, but it's been a long time since he's seen Shrek. Whereas, like, I love Shrek. I watch Shrek all the time. Shrek 1 and 2, at least. But I've never saw the first Puss in Boots, and there's like some references to like both movies, but you don't really need to have watched either to have a good time. Like, guys, I didn't realize John Mulaney was in this movie. He's in this movie, and he's actually super funny, and his line delivery is so good. His character's so good. All the characters in this movie are really good because they're all like funny and they're fleshed out, and for the most part, for most of them, you like care about them, and you're just like, oh, like.
That feels weird to say about a Puss in Boots movie. Is why I'm like, wow, like.
It's really good. The villain is so great. I'm so tired of like sympathetic villains. Like the villains in this movie are so cool / so funny, and you know exactly what I mean when you see it. The animation really just took so much inspiration from Spider-Verse, where it's like when you see the frame drops, you know something's about to go down. Like you have this cool fight sequence, these cool sequences where there's just a bunch of frame drops, but it's just so gorgeously like choreographed and thrown together. The colors are so bright. It's just so well animated, guys. It's a good movie, and honestly, we were laughing the whole time. It's very funny. It's very
That's awesome,
and it has a good, really good and simple message, and it just makes you root for the characters the whole time. And I don't know. I heard it was going to be good, so I already had some like fairly high expectations. I was like, you know what? I've heard this is good, so I hope I enjoy it. Somehow it surpassed those expectations. Somehow it did.
I had zero interest until I heard it was good.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think probably for the most part, but I definitely would encourage everyone to watch it, especially if you were a fan of like the Spider-Verse style. It's not literally the same exact style, but it's definitely inspired by it. And I'm like, listen, I want to throw my money at it. So more like Sony and DreamWorks, and especially DreamWorks. I feel like DreamWorks has not really
get creative with your animation.
Yeah, I want them to get good, especially guys. I had no hope for Shrek 5. I now have hope for Shrek 5. If Shrek 5
is there gonna be one?
Yeah, there is. That's confirmed.
Wow. You know what? Yeah.
I I didn't know that
And-
was rumors. Okay, that's cool.
No. That's been revealed for a while, I'm pretty sure. But like, I had no hope for Shrek 5, and now I have complete hope. Like, I'm a believer.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm a believer. Yep. And I think if they take the style, which again, I think this movie's popping off more than they thought it would. So hopefully that's their sign to say, hey, whatever we did there, like, we did a good job with, and so we should do it more. Which I'm saying, yes, you should do it more.
Mm-hmm.
So I highly recommend anybody go watch it, whether it's in theater. Bring your kid. You don't have to bring your kid. Me and my husband are 2 adults, and we had a really good time. But I'm sure kids would love it too. It has a great message for them, and it's going to be entertaining for them as well. Yeah, it's just good, fun, entertaining.
Nice.
That's all I want in a movie.
Cool.
Sweet.
It looks fun. LJ, what did you watch?
I watched The Menu.
I've heard the name. I don't know what this movie is.
That's Anya Taylor-Joy and
Yes.
Golden-
It's basically these people get sent to this island to go for this really expensive, like, fine dining experience. And that's all I'm gonna say. It's one of those movies that just gets progressively crazier and crazier as it goes on.
Imagine.
And it's one of those movies that has you going, what the heck did I just watch when you finish it? It's one of those movies that I'm left thinking about the end. I was left thinking about the ending and just kind of thinking, like, okay, like, were these things planned the whole time kind of thing? Or like, was it meant to be this way? Like, was this, was this really the reason for, that kind of a thing? Like, just, I almost, like, I didn't get down like a YouTube rabbit hole or anything, but like, I feel like I could have easily done so.
Yeah, totally.
Like ending explained kind of videos, or like, theories and stuff like that. But it's really good. Like, it's really, I guess to some people that it might end up really weird, but it's also really good because it left me asking those questions. And it's on HBO Max. So, like, yes, it's a trip. It's wild. It's pretty nutty. Yeah. That's kind of all I have to say because I can't say anything else. Which is a good thing.
In a while. I think it's time I dive back in.
Ooh, The Menu would be a good one, I think.
I always on Sundays. Like, we could watch a movie.
Or Puss in Boots.
Watch Puss in Boots? Okay.
Yeah, both. I mean, either one.
Okay. Cool.
There's also like a few like Oscar nominees, I think, on HBO Max and stuff now. Like, there's like, now that those are out.
Movies that I've actually wanted to watch. I just haven't gotten around to doing so.
Right. Yeah, the Menu's a trip though.
Cool. We'll get into the movie news then. Shelley, I think I'm more excited about any of this than you are. But you take the lead.
If you wanna go for it, I can, or you can. I
Chime
can.
in.
I can talk about it, and then you can talk about how great it is.
Yes, I will.
Yeah. So I was introduced to Riddick today.
like a 2-minute crash course.
Yeah, I legitimately
Oh.
Riddick, or the Chronicles of Riddick.
And I told the
already.
story like, what's his face from Ant-Man? I was like,
You did.
Did this happen?
That's true, actually. But anyway, for anybody else who's unlike me, who maybe is more like Cody and likes Riddick, this is good news for you.
Those are like B movies.
No. Well, basically, there is going to be a Riddick 4.
Yes.
So I think that already is news to some people. But there was concept art dropped on Vin Diesel's Instagram. I think it was Instagram. Yep. No, not Twitter.
Made by AI. Not confirmed, but you're
It
right.
looks
It looks
made
a
by
lot
AI.
like AI.
It really looks like AI. The
He could literally just put like Riddick in like an AI like prompt and just be like, boop.
Yeah, and it said Furia waits, like as the
Like, that's not a real person.
Furia or Furia?
That's not an actor we know.
Furia. I don't know how you say it.
Furia.
Furia.
Yeah.
No, the Furia is the planet he came from.
Yeah.
Is
He's a Furian.
yeah.
Not a furry.
Okay. Could be, but anyway, so Vin Diesel
we're
dropped that.
judging, but
Wordplay's fun.
This is probably good news for a lot of people like Cody. I've never heard of it, so that's cool.
I'm really
See,
excited.
Cody is more excited
they're all rated
than I
R.
am.
Chronicles Critic might not be
Are they rated R for Riddick?
for Riddick. So kind of
Rated
be aware of that
Riddick.
if you want to watch these. The first one is a horror movie. And my wife actually was like, "You have to watch this movie," and I was like, "That's cool." And then Chronicles of Riddick was a sequel, and I believe that kind of came out relatively like pretty close to when we started dating. I can't remember. I might be wrong.
That is a weird picture.
But we.
Yeah, right.
Oh, he did. There is new concept art.
It's just Riddick, Vin Diesel's character, being basically like a space John Wick, and like he's in prison one scene and he puts a cup down, and he was like, "I would kill you with this cup."
He's an anti-hero, like
and then he does kill the person with the cup. It's very John Wick. It's cool.
What do you see, LJ?
I'm just like looking at that image, and it's just like that like AI art image y'all were talking about.
Yeah,
like,
totally AI.
doesn't even look like it. Just looks like
I don't
doesn't
know if
even
that's
like
really
it.
that. It could legit be a person.
It looks like Riddick, but he's like got like stuff on his face, and he's armored up looking like.
Just like
But then
the details, you're like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and then before that though, the post he has before that I think is the bigger news. Is that there's an actual concept art piece, like a storyboard frame. So it's like. That definitely does mean there is something coming. But I'm just like that AI art, like it
My
just.
biggest concern isn't even with the movie; it's with Vin Diesel himself. He lost so much weight for the last movie, and that would have been Riddick 3. And I kind of hope that he doesn't have to do that again because he's getting older and he takes really
absolutely.
drastic measures to get down to the weight that he has to get to. For these movies. The second one, he was a little bit muscular and it was more of a superhero build. But the first and the third, it was all about being like as thin as possible. And Vin Diesel, I don't think of him as like a thin guy. He's not chubby by any means. He's usually pretty built. But really having to like lose that weight and get to like this alien-esque thinness can't be healthy for his age.
What is his tagline? He's like, you're not afraid of the dark, are you?
Yeah.
Because he's got these cool glowy eyes and like he can see in the dark.
He's cool. It's a cool movie.
It's of the era, like that 2000s era action movie is just like that's
Totally makes sense.
There's also an anime episode that came out that's like
it's like an anime spinoff. Yeah,
It does sound like anime. It does.
yes.
Like when you're describing it.
it is why it fits. Yeah. There's even a really cool. I don't think you can really. It's kind of hard to find now, but there was a really cool video game that they made back in the day around that not Pitch Black, but Chronicles of Riddick. It's called Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay, and it's so good. So it's a weird piece of.
There was Pitch Black, and then there was Chronicles of Riddick. They were very different movies with the same.
Yeah.
The third one was just a combination of the two. It was very much them just like
rehashing.
Yeah, and so I'm kind of hopeful that this will be more of a fresher story, and I'll be excited about this too. The third one was very heavily going back to the Pitch Black stuff, and so maybe this one will go back to the second one, and I like the second one, so that would be okay. It's more actiony. The third one he literally was doing the exact same thing he was doing for this one.
Maybe the second one, maybe this one will be like a better follow up and just an older Riddick that like maybe his past will be catching up with him or something.
The third
like,
was kind of like, hey, remember how you liked Riddick? We made more of it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, thanks.
Okay.
I could have just watched the old movies.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It is. Yeah. That's all. I was going to compare it to Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess, but.
Thank you for your TED Talk.
Yeah.
No.
We can move on.
I'm excited for that, and that's good. Something that we may or may not be excited about. Something that may or may not be good. James Gunn is rebooting the DC universe.
Who would have thought?
But Where'd we get that news?
I got that news from Dave Bautista. Why?
Who asked if he could be Bane
Why?
and was told no. He's too old.
But that also doesn't that lead to a comment that's or some I guess something that he's not afraid to cast like MCU actors or something like.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's could be due to like
I want
how,
all MCU heroes to be villains.
how most of them like are like contracted kind of like
All
they're
MCU
or they
heroes
have.
to be villains. I think that would be the coolest, smartest thing ever. Let's get Tom Hiddleston to be a hero and something.
That would be interesting.
Tom Hiddleston's gonna.
That would be interesting.
Sorry, Hiddleston. But
Yeah. I just
I'm excited.
care.
I'm only excited if Peacemaker is canceled, and I love Peacemaker. Don't get me wrong, but I will be. My faith in James Gunn will be lost if he's like, we're getting rid of everything except that one thing I created.
Yeah, because that would be kind of scummy at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If as long as he cancels everything, then I'm like, okay, let's do this. Let's do it right this time.
I mean, good for James Gunn. Good for him, dude, because it's still the fact that this came all the way from originally him getting canceled. We're supposed to be
Yeah.
canceled. Like, that's the entire reason he's even in the position to do this. So it's like, good for
Yep.
him that, like, he went from, oh, you know, he did some bad tweets on Twitter a long time ago. People were calling out for him. Disney's like, no. I don't want to touch that guy anymore because I don't want to get that on me. And then the DC's like, hey, come over here. And now he's doing all this stuff with DC. So, like, good for him. That's awesome. I personally just don't care about the DC universe. I care so little about universes, at least movie universes. The only one I care about is Spider-Verse. That's the only one. And not even like in the Marvel Cinematic Universe Spider-Verse. I mean Spider-Verse. Sony Animation Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
So I look at this and I don't know, I feel like I'm dead inside because I'm like, man, they're still trying to do this thing and like who knows, you know, James Gunn's brilliant, so like who knows, maybe he can make it really freaking good. But all I know is that the only I shouldn't say the only good. I should say the only DC content that I've absorbed, movie I should really specify, DC movies that I've consumed and really liked anytime recently was the Batman, pretty much exclusively. And that I really would hate to see
that's the one.
all of a sudden become involved in, like, as much as I would love to see a sequel to the Batman, I do not want to see involved in another universe. I want his story. I want his story with his villains. All in Gotham with Catwoman. Maybe they could bring, you know, find a Robin or someone. That's fine, but like keep it really Batman centric. I don't want random Superman in there. I don't want random Flash in there. I don't want random anything. I'm tired of universes. I'm tired of, especially like, tonal shifts, because that's another thing. It's like, oh, you got some characters that are really like bubbly and happy, and some who are like Batman, who's just grim and dark and edgy all the time, and like having to, it just clashes, right? Putting them in the same space, and I'm like, why can't you just keep them separated? And who knows? Again, maybe James Gunn has like some brilliant plan up his sleeve. Maybe he's like, he really knows what he's doing. He's gonna have a fun time doing it, make a crap ton of money. In which case, good for him. I just feel like I see this and I feel dead inside. I don't care. I'm so tired of universes. I'm burnt out on Marvel. I can't handle another universe. I'm not strong enough. That's how I feel.
I'm 100% on board. I think that MCU has gotten this, especially this last phase, kind of gotten meh. And so I'm like, give me a new universe to care about, because I don't care about that one anymore. I guess is kind of where I'm at. And I say that, but I'm going to watch every MCU thing that comes out for us, probably. But, yeah, no, I totally agree. Let's not let Batman needs to be its own thing. Also, I don't want that Riddler. I don't want that Riddler to be James Gunn's DCU, and I don't want as cool as his Joker is. Like, it's so well done. Cool is probably not the right word, but shocking and just well done that Joker is. It's not what the DCU's Joker needs to be.
Right.
I'm hoping that there's
We don't need Joker.
James Gunn's
Hot
reboot
take.
will be heavily inspired by the Justice League animated cartoon. Not Justice League War, because that would be amazing. I'd be all about that.
But like the OG, like Justice League Unlimited kind of.
Yeah, Justice League Unlimited, and then the one before that, and like
Young Justice
are really beloved by a lot of people, and I think we kind of make that the center point of like what it should look like, then I think it'll do well. I think if you get like, oh, we're gonna inspire our Joker off of that, we're gonna inspire our Batman off of that, Superman and etc. Then the DCU will be basically what I've wanted it to be.
Oh man, if they literally just do like a Young Justice like style universe and just maybe this young Superman they've talked about will just be like Superboy, like or something, you know, like.
I heard. I know they can't do it. They want a young Superman. The guy that is playing Superboy in Titans would be the perfect young Superman. But it would be weird because we would know him as Superboy. You would be recasting him to just play his dad. But he's supposed to be a clone of Superman, and the dude looks and he's so perfect for it. Really good actor. I didn't know that he was a really good actor until this last season. He usually plays a very kind of bland character, and he got to play a little bit of a. I don't want to give anything away, but he got a little bit Lex Luthor-esque because Superboy, if you don't know, is part Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
and it was kid could be really good if he's got the right directing. Tangents. I don't know. I'm excited for this reboot. I like the younger idea, keeping them like early 20s actors and stuff.
I gotta say, last comment, it was really awkward to see those Shazam Fury of the Gods ads during the football game last night. I'm just like, oof. I'm like,
I know they haven't yet, but I really think they need to release the Batwoman or Batgirl movie.
Yeah, Batgirl, yeah.
Let's just release that with all these other movies that now no longer matter. Because why? Yeah, Shazam's not gonna like Aquaman. I guess I'll see them, but I don't care anymore now that I know the whole.
I don't think I care either. You know what really soured me on this whole thing was all the stuff around Black Adam.
Yeah.
Because I really enjoyed that movie when it came out, and I'm like, this is really fun. But then after that,
and they're like, never mind, we're erasing.
Yes, and then just all the stuff with like Dwayne Johnson and just all the other, like back and forth. I'm like, oof, this is actually kind of scummy. So like maybe I shouldn't be excited about this.
I mean, I think that was probably not handled well from Dwayne Johnson's.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, love Dwayne Johnson, but
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. I think that a fresh slate is way better than trying to.
They just need a snap.
What they've got now, what they have now, is been a mess basically since the start.
You might say they need a flashpoint.
Yeah, and that's perfect too. I think that's the plan, right? It's gonna be flashpoint.
I hope so.
Totally erase everything, and then they'll start anew. And that makes all of this.
Let Ezra Miller do reshoots or whatever, like they supposedly did, and then put handcuffs on him. There we go. Call it a day.
They're talking about releasing him. I've seen some rumors about that. I hope.
Yeah, no.
But
that's why I said put handcuffs on him afterwards.
The Justice League War movie, they had a flashpoint situation at the end.
Exactly, do that.
And it was
yeah.
I was like, man, you relive a lot of lives. Anyways, we'll get into TV from there, and I'm trying to think of what I watched besides the '90s show and Last of Us. I finished the '90s show, and if you like the '70s show, watch it.
I do need to finish it. I did watch a few more episodes since then, but yeah.
I don't think that you will enjoy that show if you don't have an absolute love for that '70s show.
We said that last time, I believe. It's definitely one of those things.
I won't watch it.
You won't miss anything in doing so. If you really love that '70s show, I think that you're losing out not watching it. I had a friend at work. We were talking about it, and she was like, yeah, it just seems like a Disney show. I didn't like it. I love that '70s show. So I only watched an episode and I couldn't do it anymore. And I was like, I get that, but you need to keep watching because I think it's just going to get better from where it ends, and it was already...
Hmm.
It was so much fun to like go and revisit these characters.
Yeah.
And see where they are now, continue it. That's a show that like I wish would have never ended, and so this kind of feels like it didn't.
Hmm.
It's cool. But that's all I have on the 90s show. And what else I watch? Bad Batch. I've got just kind of a system of shows. Oh, and Vox Machina. Vox Machina has come out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've watched 6 episodes now. I believe that there are only 6 episodes as of recording this. And it's got a lot deeper of a story this season. There's a lot of in-game, like in-show lore that's happening, and the characters are all getting a little bit more individualized backstory and stuff. And it's been a lot of fun. I don't know. It's good. And I think part of that is last season it was very funny, and it still is really funny and stupid. So stupid. Kind of like, it reminds me kind of like Red vs. Blue. A lot of people didn't watch Red vs. Blue all the way through, but Red vs. Blue started as basically just skit comedy. Yeah. And then by the end of it had this actual plot to it. The show kind of is doing the same thing, where the first season was kind of, it wasn't skit comedy, but it was definitely just a comedy. And then this is slowly turning into deep plot.
I like that. Like, that's good that shows, like...
evolving and growing.
Yes. I respect that.
I'm excited about it. Vox Machina, very mature. So keep that in mind. Everything is mature these days. It's like quality and mature ratings have to go hand in hand, and that's always unfortunate. But...
That's not necessarily true. A lot of people love Bluey. Everybody
It's
loves
true.
Bluey.
I haven't checked a lot of good things.
Bluey is really good.
A lot of good TV out there.
I've watched Bluey with my nephew, and I'm just like, yeah, this is
I'm
good.
gonna tell you a really good kid show that you can even enjoy if you're an adult, but if you have a kid, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's on Netflix. So good. Animation, gorgeous. Characters, awesome. The situations, very silly, very, very chaotic. We watch an episode or two just occasionally. Sometimes I'll like walk in on my husband watching Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that sort of thing. So that's also a great show. It's not mature in the sense of, nudity, sex, that sort of thing, like violence. But it's still very good. And if you have a kid, your kid's gonna love it. But as an adult, you might still have a good time too. So
That makes me thinking about it. I really need to watch the second season of The Chosen, but The Chosen is definitely, obviously, a high quality show that's good.
There's
and
lots
not...
of high quality shows. People just want to lie to you. They want to give you the idea that it has to be super mature, like frickin' Game of Thrones level. Like, oh, it's really good because it's really mature. They keep trying to attribute those things. No. You don't need to attribute those things. Something being really mature doesn't necessarily make it really good. Something being really good doesn't necessarily make it super mature, and or at least in the maturity as far as rankings and that sort of thing goes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of level of like how we need to watch it. Those are separate things, and so you can have really good shows that are mature, or you can have really good shows that aren't mature. You have bad shows that are mature. You have bad shows that aren't mature.
Yeah.
For some reason. I do feel like we are in a weird generation.
Was really good, and because it was on History Channel, it was like relatively clean. It was made for cable, but even the Vikings was filmed with like a bunch of nudity and stuff, and you can, because it was released not on History Channel and other places, and so there are cuts of that show that are super mature. But History Channel version is perfect, and
also,
it's great.
100%. Almost any Scooby-Doo show is going to be better than Velma. Velma, they add a bunch of maturity to it to try to make it good and funny, and it's bad. Fair. It's very bad. So
I've not seen a single episode.
I've been watching reactions on YouTube.
So
I'm not about to. Yeah, I'm not about to like watch the show itself. Like that's why I don't even mention like watching the shows, because I'm not watching the show. I'm watching reactions to it, but it actually looks so freaking just bad. Like, just all the characters suck. The humor's bad. Like, there's just a lot of bad things about it. But also, the good news of that, I've been watching those reactions, is I start watching like random clips and stuff from like other Scooby-Doo shows. And like I did watch some Scooby-Doo growing up, but not a ton. But I'm just like I keep watching like like clips from other Scooby-Doo shows that are genuinely like funny and good, and I'm just like, oh, this is just so much better. Again, it's less mature.
Yeah.
It's better. It's like maturity doesn't feel good. So sorry.
And it's yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's stuff out there. I really
Yeah.
want to watch Chosen season 2. Need to do that. Watch The Chosen. What about you, LJ? What have you been watching?
So I guess randomly after I finished the menu, I was like, why don't I continue the theme? And so I heard this show called The Bear that's on FX and Hulu was really good. And it's another cooking chef themed like thing that I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stay on beat because I just got done watching the menu the same night. But this show, The Bear, is about it's a restaurant in Chicago, like a sandwich like restaurant. And basically they don't start like the way they start from it is like there's this guy, that they kind of show him and like working at this restaurant. And I've never worked at a restaurant before, but just the first episode or two, I feel like I got a pretty good idea because it just seems like it's utter chaos in the kitchen. And so I'm sure you catch some of that, working in that field, just being a server or a waiter or whatever. But it's really good, and it's about this guy he used to be this big shot 5-star chef at some big restaurant like in New York or something, but he goes back home basically to take over the restaurant from his brother who has passed away. There hasn't been overtly mature stuff, kind of like we were talking about. There hasn't been like nudity or anything like that, but it's definitely like obviously like swearing and stuff. But like so far, it seems to be fairly clean for what it is. Like obviously there's language and stuff, but it's just really good character stories so far, and that's what I really like about it. And I feel like it just captures what is the chaos of owning a business and working at a restaurant. I just feel like it, and the character knowing that, the character doing this knowing that, oh yeah, this place is kind of crap, but like I'm not gonna let it go because I want it to succeed, kind of a thing. Like but it's good. I think I'm like 6 episodes in. It's on Hulu and FX if anybody's interested in it. But I think the actor even won. They had the Golden Globes recently and all that stuff too. So that show won some awards. I think even one of the supporting actresses, I guess, has gained some notoriety from it too. So it's a really good show. So that's what I watched this week, other than The Last of Us, obviously.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because everyone's watching.
Everybody except Shelley.
Yeah.
I'm a hater for real.
So good. Speaking of Last of Us, we'll get into the news. Season 2's been confirmed. Who would have thought? There's been a few different rumblings about this. Apparently, Season 2 will be Last of Us 2, the video game.
That's what Neil Druckmann said, I think.
And that seems pretty crazy to me because there's like an 8-year gap in those games. So I don't know what their exact plan is.
I mean, hey, they got flashbacks they can do whatever they want with now, so...
Yeah. And...
Shots fired.
I think that part of that will probably be there are flashbacks in Last of Us 2, the video game.
There were, yeah.
And
they were good. Yeah.
Work with that for that next season because the director said that there's multiple seasons that will encompass that story because there's so much to the story of Last of Us 2.
Oh, Last of Us 2 is a really long game. Yeah, you're gonna have to.
And feels like different. Like it feels like different story arcs. Like you beat the game.
Yeah.
And then you have to beat another game within it, basically.
Yes, it's almost
It's good. It just never ends.
Yeah.
So I could see some of that kind of happening. We'll just kind of have to wait and see. But they were questioning literally last week whether or not they'd get a second season, and now it's confirmed. So,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize more Warner Bros. News. We have Titans and Doom Patrol have been canceled. Obviously, that's part of James Gunn's plan to reboot everything. I would expect nothing less. I'm sure a lot of people are bummed about Doom Patrol. There's a few. Of
I never watched Doom Patrol, but I feel like that's a show like I really would have enjoyed.
There's a lot.
I maybe watched an episode or two.
It was a spin-off of the Titans show. There's characters like Doom Patrol's basically introduced in Titans. And
It's been yeah. Maybe that's why. I don't know if I watched it or not, but I do remember that episode was like basically a pilot.
It's weird. Yeah, so there's a Titans episode, and they introduced the Doom Patrol, and Doom Patrol has their own like start out, and it contradicts Titans. It's like
that's weird.
It's weird, but it's. I've heard Doom Patrol's good. I just haven't seen it. I really hope that James Gunn kind of pays attention to what Titans did right, and maybe what I don't know about Doom Patrol, but Titans feels like Justice League animated, or Young Justice at least, kind of in live action. Not the first season. The first season is trying to.
They kind of just like slid up in there, didn't they? Like the whole Young Justice stuff.
Yeah, the first season tries to be as gritty as possible. I'm thinking more of the third season when you got like the Red Hood versus Dick Grayson, and it really feels almost like a budgeted web series. Like it almost feels fan made. It's so.
And then the newest season teased like Brother Blood stuff too. So like I don't know if that's like a thing that's actually happening or not. But...
Yeah, no, it is.
Cool.
Not give anything away, but
yeah.
Hopefully they finish the season out. I'm sure they will. But yeah, they have one more season. I think is what it is.
That's kind of sad because I feel like it probably. I mean, that's just kind of like. That was the start of it, that was the start of the whole, before HBO Max was even a thing. So it's like, oh dang, like, all right, yeah. So I'm honestly surprised it's gone on as long as it has.
Yeah,
but also I'm like,
DC Universe or whatever it was called, the web app that these were on, got deleted. I figured these would go with it, honestly.
Yeah, it almost makes me kind of sad for the people that do still really enjoy these, like. Like Arrowverse, those were long and drawn out, but I feel like these are just those actually have people that enjoy them now.
Yeah. They're overly cartoonish. Their costumes are really well done.
Yeah.
Fun. I don't know. So I'm okay as long as Titans ends on a good note, and I'm sure it will. And hopefully that means that we get those in DC. Maybe we'll get some Nightwings and some Teen Titans and some Young Justice characters. That'll all kind of come out of.
You literally just do Young Justice as the next DCU. I think that'd be awesome because cool. Justice League Unlimited was also about training up new heroes and these lesser known kind of people.
I don't think we'll get a Young Justice. I feel like the current Justice League, the Superman, Batman Justice League, will feel almost like a Young Justice. They'll be in their 20s, and then we wait 15 years because there's 15 years between all of these. And in 15 years, we get a Young Justice as. Kind of introducing characters. That's
dang.
But
yeah, no, that's a good. I like that though.
Yeah, and that just allows them to keep everything fresh forever, basically. Forever. And then the last piece of news is exciting for me because I really like Vox Machina. Critical Role's second campaign that they did is also being animated, and that'll be a totally different show on Amazon Prime. Apparently, Amazon Prime has some kind of deal with them. And so that is cool. I don't necessarily need a whole universe of Critical Role. And I don't know if this is a shared universe or not. It might not be. I don't know. I'm excited, but I don't want more.
Yeah, because is it just them doing like a second so it's them just doing other characters?
Yeah, I'd be curious.
It's like a different campaign, I thought.
Right. I mean, that's what it sounds like. No.
It's the same cast, so it'll be the same voice actor playing different characters. That'll be interesting. This is more. It sounds more like Guardians of the Galaxy. They're like thieves and misfits and ragtag. The other one, they were actually
honor among thieves
in a lot of ways. So, I think it's cool. We'll see how it goes, but I have Vox Machina, so why would I want another one? I don't
right.
know. I would wait till Vox Machina is canceled and then. Open up the second campaign. Okay.
I mean, it's like what we were talking about last week, right? They're trying to get everything they can out of this. Yeah. So,
TV. I was talking to someone the other day. We might have brought this up on the podcast. I can't remember. I was trying to figure out why I was so far behind on television, and it's because I'm no longer watching a show, keeping up with a show. I'm keeping up with like 8 shows in the same universe, and so you have to like. It used to be I could watch 3 or 4 different shows at a time, and I would be watching 4 different worlds basically, and I would get breaks, and so I could watch one this season and another this like season, like fall and summer. And now it's like I got like Marvel. I've got to watch something basically every 3 months, and then I get a month break, and then I got 3 months to watch something else. And if you don't watch the first thing, that you're out of it. So you're not just picking up one show when you pick up a universe anymore. You're having to watch so many things to keep up with that one thing that you care about.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And then with all these streaming services trying to have that main thing too, it's like, so there's at least a few running at one time, whether like, even though it's different things, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even like in Disney, if you wanted to be like a Disney Plus fanatic, there would be so many original things you'd have to watch just in Disney Plus alone.
Yep. I remember literally, I think it was like She-Hulk, Rings of Power, and Andor, or something like that at the same time last year. I'm just like, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. So, like, you know,
yeah.
just watching Mandalorian, big deal. But you gotta watch Mandalorian, you gotta watch Boba Fett, you gotta watch Andor.
Yep.
And then you've got 3 other universes that are releasing stuff at the same time, so you gotta watch all of those. That's weird.
And then, like, right when before Last of Us even ends, we're gonna get Mandalorian back again too. So we're gonna hop right into the next show on the next service. You know, like it's a constant flow.
I think the only time that I've ever said no to it, and I'm gonna have to start saying no sooner or later. Like, there's a breaking point. Was the Arrow universe? I was like, okay, I watch Arrow, and then they're like, The Flash, and I was like, I can watch The Flash.
Too much.
And then they're like, no, Legends of Tomorrow, and I was like, no. I can't do this anymore.
Especially since shows are starting to get back to this weekly format, even though they're on streaming services.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that's... So CW made it even more difficult for you, probably, because that wasn't really on a stream. That was cable television.
Yeah,
you
I think
know,
that's probably why it was so easy to say no. It's like there were just days that I wasn't on.
Yeah.
So I could watch those TV episodes without having to figure out some kind of subscription service or something to watch them after they aired. And I was like, no. And then Supergirl, I tried watching Supergirl, and I was like, well, now whenever they come together, I don't know what's going on. So.
Oh, I remember last time I binged like The Flash or something, like before I stopped watching it on Netflix, I literally had to go, like when they did the whole crossover thing, I went to the next episode and I went, wait, what? And I'm like, oh, they did this very important thing on another episode, on a show that wasn't theirs. So like I literally had to go and watch the others from that event, you know? Like, yeah.
I don't know. Oversaturation, for sure.
Yep.
I think with movies, it's easier for me. I can watch a movie universe if you give me a movie a month to watch. I would be down with watching 2 movies a month, I think, in theaters. Anything more than that, I'm just like, please stop.
That's already a lot.
Yeah.
Speaking of watching a movies a month, I saw there's the waiting list for whatever Movie Pass is doing now is about to end.
Just let it die.
Like, I saw that email and thought about it maybe for 5 seconds, and I went, nope.
That is like, it's not just beating a dead horse. At this point, it is like stringing the dead horse up and trying to puppeteer.
It's like trying to resurrect it and then just beating it again. It's like throwing it in a Lazarus pit, you might say.
Yeah. Just let it go. I don't know what to go about. We will end the podcast there. You guys geeking out about anything else this week?
Nope.
Make sure you tune into our social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and for details on the Level Up event, we'll be releasing a lot of information very soon. We are kind of pushing for, if you've got a church, you've got youth pastors, or just church pastors that want to do the virtual conference at their church. We're trying to kind of set up a way to do that easily for them. So you can just kind of go to the published website. I'm trying to think if it'll be up yet or not, but it'll be geeksondergrace.com/the-level-up event. Or, yeah, the level up event. And I'm not sure if you'll get anything yet, but you should soon. And it'll be kind of all the information on it and allow people to kind of set up their churches to watch this virtual conference too. Speakers speaking on faith stuff. To level up faith stuff. I don't want to give it all away. I'm excited though. It's gonna be really good. Yeah. It's a very much, to me, a way to give back to the community, because the community's given so much for Geeks Under Grace.
It was time to do something different, and here it is, you know?
We've done pledge drives in the past, and they've been just like Twitch streams. They've been really cool. They've always been about the community, but this feels, at least for me, very much like a gift to you. So, as a thank you for being awesome. LJ, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at LJ the Paladin.
Shelley?
Find me on Twitter at TheShellShock24.
And you can find me on Instagram at Cody Armour, and on Twitch when my internet's up. I was able to stream last week at twitch.tv/Geeks Under Grace. And yeah, keep gaming, keep praying. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. We love hearing from you, so feel free to ask us questions or just comment on the show by using the hashtag GUGcast on Twitter, or by joining the GUGcast questions channel in the Geeks Under Grace Discord. If you like this episode, consider leaving a review or rating of our show on your favorite podcast app. If you want even more Geeks Under Grace, you can always go to geeksundergrace.com. We love you all so much, so thank you for listening.